Today's date, July 27th, 2022. And today's guest is Sensei Neil Prime. Sensei, please state your name and rank.
My name is Neil Prime, and my rank in Shintani Wado Kai Karate is 7th Dan, Shichidan. And in the Shindo Federation, under the Shintani Karate Federation, I am ranked at a Rokudan. In the World Traditional Karate Association, I'm recognized also as a 7th Dan. And in the Superfoot system under Bill Wallace, I am recognized as a 6th Dan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
how many years have you been involved? Beg your pardon?
I said it keeps me busy.
Oh, yes. How many years have you been involved in the martial arts?
1978 is when I started, so I'll let everyone just do the math. We don't want to give any numbers away.
Your martial arts background?
My martial arts background is mostly traditional karate and kickboxing. A lot of people think of karate as big in weapons too, but I've never done a lot of weapons other than the Shindo, as that is a part of the Shintani Karate Federation and developed by Sensei Shintani. And for a few years, we were playing with Eskrima sticks, Kali, one of the Filipino martial arts, and that was fun for a while. But that's what I do.
Okay. How did you get started in martial arts?
I was at a flea market at the Fairview Mall in St. Catharines on a Sunday afternoon, and I was with some friends, and we saw a poster of a Japanese man throwing a kick, and it said karate lessons, and my friends picked up on it right away. They were interested. My one friend had always wanted to take karate. We were like 14 at the time. And my neighbor was with me, who we grew up as friends, a couple of years older than me, took judo prior to a very bad car accident that he was in. But he was healthy at this point in time again, and he wanted to get back into the martial arts. So I just tagged along. There was nothing that jumped out at me other than my friends were going to do it, and I would probably have nothing to do sitting around at home by myself. So I went to karate class.
What are your personal accomplishments related to the martial arts?
Oh, well, personal accomplishments, I guess one of the biggest things for me is being a Senate member on the Shintani Wado Kai Karate Federation in the organization, and helping promote and keep the legacy of Hanshin Shintani alive. I'm also currently a Canadian representative for the Superfoot system. One of the things that I consider a real accomplishment is going down to Fort Bragg, particularly as a Canadian, and teaching the special forces hand-to-hand combat. And we did that twice. First time, we used networking to get in because we wanted to show them what we had, and we wanted actually just to contribute our time because we felt we had something to offer. The second time is what was really cool, because they wouldn't have asked us to come back if they didn't like what we did the first time. And it was the Sergeant Major who was involved in the class the first time, who just loved what we did. And I partnered up with him quite a bit, and we just hit it off right away. So he got us back down later. They actually asked for more, but it was just too difficult with the people that I was involved with. We were all working, and that was just a part-time thing. And it was a real honor to do that. I was also recognized in the Hall of Fame for the Sport Karate Museum, and also inducted into the Hall of Fame for the Karate College. I started out as a attendee, just as a student there, and became a teacher, and I have an open invitation for teaching there. And this camp was started by Jerry Beasley, Joe Lewis, Bill Wallace, and Jeff Smith. So that's quite a lineup of people. And I guess one of my biggest accomplishments absolutely would be starting the St. Catharines Wadokai Karate Club. And, of course, that's not myself. Although I was the guy who said, I want to do it. I had a lot of help along the way. And over the past 35 years or so that we've been running, had a lot of great black belts helping. And that's the reason why we're still here today. And the longevity of our students, we've got a lot of black belts who have stayed a long time. I know a lot of clubs claim to put out they claim to be black belt schools and stuff like that. Well, I've never had a huge club. Never really wanted a huge club because I've always wanted to get as much personal attention with all of the people in my club as I can. So it's a social thing too. But that's got to be that's right up there as one of my best personal accomplishments in life. Absolutely.
Nice. What was your first encounter with Hanshin Students?
Well, after we read the poster and we showed up downstairs at the Fairview Mall, just walked in and he greeted us right away. I'm not one to I don't know if I believe in aura and all of this stuff, but boy oh boy, did he ever emulate something. It was incredible. I was transfixed just with talking to him, and he was warming up the class when we got there, and it was immediately transfixed. Like I say, it was it was very hard to explain, but it hooked me.
Well, the next question is, what was your impression of Hanshin Students?
Yeah, it was overwhelming. I was just truly in awe, and I don't know many people that have done that through my life. And I've met some pretty big people, particularly through the martial arts, and very few have resonated that type of energy.
Do you have a favorite memory of Hanshin Students?
Yeah, lots. He loved to talk. He loved to tell stories. Some days, honestly, we would show up at the dojo, and if you asked him the right question, it was an hour and a half of storytelling. So that was absolutely incredible. And back in the 70s, a lot of the clubs styles had kind of faction to themselves, and he was explaining why martial arts had developed the way it was, and what we had gone through in Canada, because there's a lot of people vying for power, and my club's better than your club, my style's better than your style, and that sort of thing. He didn't give us negative politics. He basically just told us to stay out of it, but he explained it to us so that we could understand. So that was great education. I mean, Sensei Shintani was a teacher in every aspect. But as far as the one single thing that I remember that's rather comical, and I know I've told you this before. First time I ever had a real opportunity to stand in front of Sensei Shintani when we were working out and we were doing two-step sparring. He had us in a circle. He used to do that quite often. Working the techniques, one person would be in the middle, so they would be the defense, and outside was the offense. And we'd throw our techniques, and he said, "Okay, you're going to come in, you're going to throw a combination, and then you're going to get out." He said, "Second or third technique," he says, "I'm going to throw something back at you." So I came in really fast with my first technique, boom, boom, and I had no fear whatsoever because I knew it was either 2 or 3 that he was going to throw something back. On 2, I was a little more cautious because I wasn't sure, and I probably a little bit out of range, and that's why he didn't come at me, because I was being cautious. But on 3, I knew it was coming. So I threw my technique so fast, I don't even know how far out they went, but I had my hands up really, really super fast. He punched me right in the back of the hand. I proceeded to punch myself right in the jaw, and I knocked myself on my tail. about 5 feet back. And everybody just kind of stood and looked. And I mean, he was concerned that I was hurt, but only my ego was hurt. I was quite okay. But once he realized I was okay, then he just gave me the nod, and everyone else kind of laughed. And I just, kind of picked myself up and got ready for the next one.
How did Sensei make you feel?
Sensei gave everybody confidence. Sensei was so good at with people. Like I say, he was a teacher. He was so good at reading people. He knew if you were in a good mood or in a bad mood, or he knew when things were bothering you. As a teacher, he would adapt his teaching, but as an individual, he really made you feel on the same level as him. People that put Sensei Shintani above themselves, I mean, he was as a teacher, but as a person, as an individual, he wasn't above anybody. He didn't portray that at all. And I mean, that's martial arts, and his upbringing,
Mm-hmm. What struck you most about Hanshin Shintani?
On a personal level, his honesty and his sincerity. In martial arts, when it came down to actual technique, the strength of his technique, the commitment of his technique, the speed of his technique. I've traveled all over the place, and I've worked out with a number of world champions too, and I can sincerely say that he was in the upper echelon for sure of having strong karate. He also knew who could emulate that, and who needed nurturing in a different way. So that's important to know too, because some people just think that karate is all about fighting and everything like that, but that's only one part of it. He brought the best out of every individual to the best level that they could be. Not everyone's going to be a fighter, not everyone's going to be a tiger, but if you were, he would bring it out of you, and if you weren't, he would know where your limits were and just push them.
Very good. Was there a moment that made you say wow or aha?
Yes, there was. Absolutely. But it didn't happen right away. It happened actually when I was teaching, and I was I started, like, back in the day, there wasn't an awful lot of black belts like there is today, and I ended up started teaching as a brown belt. But I was a black belt when this happened, and it was a matter of all of the basic techniques that I have worked over the years, all of the repetitive kihon techniques that we have worked over the years, started to truly come naturally without thinking. I remember somebody throwing a kick at me, and without thinking, doing one of the techniques that Sensei Shintani was very big on for clearing kicks, and I literally spun the person around 180 degrees after they threw their kick at me, and this light went on. It's like, wow, like, where did that come from, right? But it came from the last 10 years of doing it over and over again, and it wasn't until I got caught off guard and was able to do it that I actually realized that, wow, if you do put that effort into it, if you do put that time into it, then it will work. And then I started thinking more and more. I became more cognizant of those types of events. But that was the first one that really made me go, oh, wow.
What inspired you most about Hanshin Shintani?
I think he was a teacher in every aspect of his life, on the floor, off the floor. He enjoyed talking and listening for sure. It wasn't one-sided, but he made you think. He really had an ability to if you had a situation that you needed to talk about, or you weren't sure what to do, he wouldn't necessarily say you got to do this. He would say, well, think about this and think about that. So he wasn't really, forcing his opinion on you. He was just giving you avenues. And I think he really looked for the good in people. And a lot of that would have come from his mother. His mother was a minister. I don't know how many people know that. But and he even said, it does not matter if you believe in God. He never pushed religion. But he said, it doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. He says, but you should read the Bible so that you understand what goodness is all about. So he was always looking for goodness in people. He wasn't looking for bad. And as you know, Sensei Bruce, having so many people around him and building the organization that he did, I mean, there was a few bad apples, but he allowed people the rope, whether they were going to pull people along or turn it into their own noose. He gave them the rope and let them make their own decisions. And so that's what really stuck out to me.
Okay. Is there a favorite technique that Hanshin Shintani showed you, something that you still teach today?
Yes, there's defensively. I'm a little aggressive, so I like to attack the attack, so to speak. And I like to do angular attacks. So he taught us Tai Sabaki, and a lot of that, they say comes from kendo and swordsmanship, where you obviously can't get hit, or else you don't get to play anymore. So working tight angles and stuff, I really like that. I really like the clear encounter, but ultimately he taught me the basics of my kicking. A lot of people say, oh, well, you're in kickboxing and you do this and you're with Mr. Wallace and blah. You know what? Sensei Shintani was the one who taught me the basics of the kick. He taught me the fundamentals of how the body should be. He taught me kinetically how a kick should work, because he knew I mean, to me, karate was kicking. I didn't care what you called it. I called it kicking. So he worked with me. And he taught me all that. He got me to work things slow. He got me to put things in place properly. So by working with Mr. Wallace later on, obviously, I picked up on it because my foundation, my basics were there. And without those strong basics, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're not gonna have strong technique.
Okay. What is the one thing about Hanshin Shintani that you think he should be remembered for?
His whole how do I put this? I've asked these questions to a number of people already, and I've gone through this in my mind a million times. But what should he be remembered of? I mean, he was a true samurai. He was compassionate, and he was fiercely strong. Like strong in body, strong in mind, and always in control. And like I said before, he was always looking for the good in people. So I mean, I don't know anything that I could say that would be really negative that I ever heard from him. Now, that's not to say he didn't have opposite opinions of people, and it's not to say that he didn't like situations and he wouldn't comment on them, but he always seemed to give the people the benefit of the doubt for why they were in that negative situation. He was just, like I said, he's always looking for the good in people.
Okay. What would you like to say to the students that never had the opportunity to meet Hanshin Students?
On our website, there is a lot of information about Hanshin Students. Going through these interviews with direct students of Sensei Hanshin Students, I think it's important that you listen to them. I think you're going to hear a common message, but everyone's going to have their own slant, and that's because he did treat everybody as an individual. Find out as much as you can. There's still students of Sensei Shintani that are teaching today. You need to work out with them. You need to, all of us on the Senate are so open to anybody, and we try to get around and see as many people as we can. But, if you're in a crowd and we miss you, come to us. Come right up to us. If you have any questions or anything like that, I promise you, we're all approachable. So if you have any questions at all, come and see us. And the videos that we offer, the kata videos that we offer, those were all directed, all the Pinans and the black belt katas, they were all directed by Sensei Shintani. He was in the room, he was working with the individuals who performed those. That is the way he wanted those katas to be remembered, even though he may have taught a number of different ways through his lifetime. That's how he wanted it recorded. And we've just released another video on Shintani techniques, where we had gone to as many black belts as we know that had influence from Sensei Shintani, and asked them about what techniques they remember. And we wrote them all down and we worked them. And when I say we worked them for almost 3 years before we got them on tape, so that we could document that. These techniques, it's not like he invented them, but they were very, very prevalent in the Shintani Wadokai Karate Federation. So I hope that we portrayed those movements in that. So I suggest that, every instructor should certainly have a copy of that and work those techniques one by one. You'll find out that, some of them aren't going to work for you, but they might work for your students, because we're all a little bit different.
Okay. Can you describe Hanshin Students in one sentence?
One sentence is kind of hard, but I mean, it's just Sensei Shintani's character was about honesty, and dedication to your family, dedication to the people around you, dedication to what you're doing. I could go on, but it's only supposed to be one sentence.
One sentence. There you go. Okay, now is your opportunity. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Hanshin Students?
Yeah, I want him to be remembered for having for being such a sound character, for having strong beliefs. I want him to be remembered for his karate being so strong and so realistic and open to everybody. It's, people who don't know what martial arts are just automatically think fighting and self-defense, but it's not. It's a lifelong character development, and he brought so many people together. I mean, he had over 10,000 black belts. I mean, black belts from other styles wanted a certificate under Sensei Shintani back in the day, because they felt that would authenticate what they were doing. That's how much respect he had in the martial arts world back in the day, 70s and 80s in particular. So he's one of the very, very first and it depends on what side of Lake Ontario you're on. Because there are other people who claim that they're the father of Canadian karate. I'm going to say there's probably a couple that had a big impact. Certainly, Sensei Shintani would be in a tie for first place. I'll say it that way, because I know people that are in the other camp, and they're super nice people, and their martial arts is just as good as ours for sure. And I'm hoping that over time that old political boundaries disappear. There's still a few, but they're almost all gone.
Do you have any closing comments or thoughts?
Yeah, and again, this came from Sensei Shintani, the way he taught us. You know, you want to stay loyal to your roots. You want to have strong basics. But in saying, when I say stay loyal to your roots, that does not mean don't venture out and learn other things. A lot of people thought, you know, when I started going to all these different camps and taking, spending a lot of time with people in kickboxing and stuff like that, they thought, oh, well, you know, you're not dedicated to the Shintani Karate Federation. It's like, oh, I couldn't be more so. You know, what I've gone out and learned, I've brought it back and shared. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use whatever resources are available. That doesn't mean that you're not dedicated to your style by any means. So learn from everybody. Sensei Shintani was very a great advocate of telling people to within the region, on a Monday night, go work here. On a Wednesday night, go work there. On a Friday night, go work out there. That was for a reason, because there are 3 different instructors, and you're going to get 3 different ways of doing the same thing. And 1 or 2 of those might work better for you, just depending on the instructor, their body type, how they read you, how you take the message from them. But take in absolutely everything. You'll sort out yourself what's going to work for you.
Okay, very good. That concludes our interview, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much.